How we doing, everybody? Hi, Sites, Shadow Games Report. Doing part 2 of Marathon. Behind on my music schedule lately, y'all. Not gonna lie, I've been pretty upset about this war, how everything's been turning out. Trying not to let it bother me though. Might take some extra time off in July just to get away from, I don't know, some of the craziness, but also just to prepare myself just in case this stuff gets worse. I don't know, I feel like everybody, I don't know how things are going to turn out. It could go one way or the other. Got the White House Q posting today, like literally. Make of that what you will at this point. I've speculated both sides of the argument, whether it be positive or negative. I don't really care which way it turns out at this point. I'm just more or less tired of talking about it. I'd rather focus on the music, y'all. I'd rather focus on more creative projects. And if I have to tune out from the news just so I can sometimes, then I'm going to. Sometimes I think for your mental health and just your creative ability to, I don't know, still be productive. Don't let these psyops affect you too much. I'm trying not to let them affect me too much. That's why I say that. Which I think I have a, pretty good handle on things. I know when to pull back. I know when to, not dip my head in too strong. But either way, I'm talking too much. We're going to do about an hour of news today, I would say. My internet cut out. What happened? I don't know what happened to that. It's acting like my internet went out. Either way, I'm sure the music's about to jump back in here in a second. Yeah, there it is. I was wondering, why is it not playing the song? Alright, anyways, let's get into the headlines real quick. Netanyahu hosts retired U.S. generals in Jerusalem meeting. House bill blocks funding for online speech suppression. Federal report reveals Surfside collapse began weeks early. I have no idea what that means. Rand Paul subpoenas Fauci for July public testimony. Lots of speculation that he could be held accountable or charged here soon, especially after Tulsi's big info dump, whatever you want to call it, exposure of the COVID pandemic scandal, however you want to term it. Judge blocks Trump voter citizenship database expansion. Nancy Guthrie abduction, second ransom note sent to Tucson TV. Probably saying that word wrong. Station said she died, sources say. Comedian Carlos Mencia pleads not guilty to 12 felony charges of failure to pay taxes. Interesting. Planned Parenthood Action Fund endorses Graham Plattner. Authorities arrest 2 more suspects of planned attack on Trump's UFC show. Prosecutors allege that mob hitman turned councilman in New Jersey has returned to crime. Quarantine comes to an end for the last of the hantavirus ship passengers in Nebraska. Wait, there's ships in Nebraska? Just kind of confused by that. Maybe there's a river somewhere. I have no idea. New Louisiana law allows incarcerated people to get time off for earning an associate's degree. Former Fed Chair Alan Greenspan dies at 100. Interesting. Former Fed Chair Alan Greenspan dies at 100. Right. Big news today also with Keir Starmer. He announced his resignation. I actually reposted that at 4 a.m. this morning, so I was ahead of the curve on that. I doubt many people got to see my post, though. because you actually have to be, I guess, clicking the notification bell to actually be seeing my videos on X or anywhere. Make sure you hit that always notification or always on notification bell option just so that you get my videos. For whatever reason, they just won't show my stuff. I guess it's because I don't pay for the platform or pay for the premium stuff. I just don't feel like it's really worth it yet. I feel like they need to offer more service or more capability. They also don't need to turn off the free users. I just think that's unfair. I think that free users should be able to have a fairer say, even though people like Nick Fuentes doesn't pay for it, and he still gets a very large reach. Seems like it's very selective. I don't know. I don't know how it works. So yeah, he announced his resignation this morning, and yeah, I guess he was seen later in the day drinking at a pub. There were people posting different photos. I don't know if that photo was real or not, but just thought it was kind of funny. U.S. Iran agree on roadmap for final deal and plan to end military operations in Lebanon. Trump says reflecting pool repairs may require draining after sealant peels. Yeah, there's people jumping in the water, peeling the sealant off the bottom of the pool. As crazy as that sounds, but I guess from all the recent media talk, but also it's just like, wow, people just feel a need to destroy public monuments now. Iran says it's closing Strait of Hormuz, citing Israeli strikes on Lebanon. Lots of back and forth over the past few days. Trump making threats yesterday towards Iran and their negotiators, saying they basically can't leave unless they keep the Strait of Hormuz open. He might shoot their plane down, or I don't know if he said that exactly, but it was something along those lines. Not very good statements to be put out from the White House, or at least the president. Not really the White House, but I mean, same thing, kind of, sort of. Either way, all right, let's get into. Oh man, it reloaded everything. I did have all this set up earlier. That's okay. We'll fix it here in a second. So we got Netanyahu, retired U.S. generals. I posted a lot about the new Steam machine that is being released, I think, in the next week or so. I think it's June 29th is when that comes out. I was thinking about it myself, but then I was just like, wait, why would I even get it? I just got a new laptop and it's basically the same specs or better. I haven't really spec'd it out entirely just yet. I think I might actually compare it here soon, just for my own personal entertainment. I don't know if I'll tell other people, what exactly my specs are, but I'll at least see like where they are compared to my computer. I don't think that they're. I don't know. I think mine's a little bit better. I don't know. I'll have to check. Alright, where did I want to start today? It was somewhere in here. It was somewhere in here. It was right here. That's what it was. Netanyahu hosts retired U.S. generals in Jerusalem meeting. The meeting was a part of JINSA's long-standing generals and admirals program, which has briefed over 500 retired U.S. officers on Israel's defense challenges since 1981. The group, led by JINSA's Michael Makowski, discussed the U.S.-Israel security partnership and threats from Iran with top Israeli leaders and toured strategic sites. So that's what this is right here. So they're retired. Very interesting. Sorry, I just had to study this for a second. I was just like, this is very interesting. Okay. Retired U.S. generals, admirals, intelligence officials, diplomats, and former government officials who advised policymakers on the Middle East met with Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel. It's almost like this is the deep state right here. Am I weird to think that? Like all these fired people, or not really fired, but former. It's just interesting. Interesting. It's very interesting. Charles Flynn, brother of Michael Flynn, is right next to Bibi Netanyahu. General Michael Flynn is 100% an Israeli asset, and this picture proves it. This is from Prometheus, or Andrew Graff, whoever that is. I don't know if this is true. This is somebody replying to this post, I think. Yeah, replying to the General. Charles Flynn, brother of Michael Flynn, is right next to Bibi Netanyahu. Yeah, that's the scary part about the whole Q operation is that, people are wondering whether or not it's like a Mossad operation or something Israeli linked or just CIA linked. I mean, it's hard to really tell. Um, I've speculated whether or not it could be, a redux of Operation Trust from the Bolsheviks. I believe it's the Bolsheviks or someone in that region. I can't remember exactly. My memory is getting fuzzy lately because I'm just getting tired. I'm like, man, something wrap up with this shit. It's like Trump, like, show us that you're on our side and you're always on our side and that you're gonna defend Lebanon or, I don't know, something along those lines. Be nice. But I don't know. This guy thinks positively of Trump. Let's give him a listen.
Rule number one in geopolitics: it isn't what it seems. There's always a fight beyond the fight. Too often, people get caught in the weeds and miss the higher battlefield. Today, we're going to focus on regime change. But it's not about national governments. It's about the apparatus that controls governments. A regime that operates in the shadows, that seeks to control without being noticed. That's the regime President Trump is ending. And if we're successful, it's a regime change comparable to bringing down the Roman Empire. The effects will take decades. But today, we're already in the eye of the storm. The fight is ongoing. In this video, I'm going to break down how the Iran deal pisses off all the right people and what President Trump has already done in the Middle East that is missed by all the pundits. Because they don't want to see the shadow regime. They're paid not to, and so they miss the real goal. It's also true in Ukraine. This same shadow regime launched a coup in 2014 to drag Russia into confrontation. And now the entire European establishment is falling headlong into another world war. I'll show you where it comes from and how the G7 elites are hanging on by their fingernails as their old tactics no longer work. But the real fight is here at home. Secure the United States, and the shadow regime loses its host, like a tick on a deer. That's why regime change at the Fed is front and center. The Federal Reserve has been the basis for a system of taxation that's brought down empires older than Rome. Don't expect total victory right away, but watch the direction. It can move fast, and the media won't be covering it. Then I'll break down what a real national banking system is, because America's next 250 years depends on our vision of the future. I'm Mike Stager, and I've been fighting to revive the vision of America for 25 years. Nations perish without a vision. They go complacent, listless, and that's when the enemy invades. You could say it's time to remove the ticks and start to rebuild our nation. So if you want to help, sign up for our newsletter in the description, hit like and subscribe, and help us grow this channel to 50,000 strong. This fight is cultural. It's a battle for the minds of our people. So sign up and help us get the word out. If the Iran deal is pissing off Mark Levin and mocked by the New York Times, then something must be right. TDSers like Senator Jack Reed say the deal is just like Obama's. These are the same people who've practically been rooting for Iran since the attack. But the Obama deal never touched the one clear underlying problem, that the Iran regime has been outright anti-American for 47 years. That's why this regime was installed, to create a permanent war complex and drag the United States into a state of forever war. As Trump says, talking is easy. He'll talk to anyone. But the Ayatollah clearly thought differently. He would rather talk with Hamas than talk with the United States and Israel. Iran signed off on the October 7th attack because they have sought total war in the Middle East, not peace. Obama never confronted that posture. He funded the Islamic terrorists in Libya and Syria while doubling down on Bush's axis of evil rhetoric. A total failure on all levels. His deal was a fake deal, and that's why President Trump ended it on day one. And that's the point. Obama was funding total war in the region. This is the shadow regime strategy. The whole concept of an axis of evil was a neocon construct to manufacture forever war. And as long as there's forever wars, America can never be great again. President Trump has thrown over that entire table. He's talked with Putin, Xi, and Kim Jong-un. The so-called axis of evil came down to Iran and its proxies. And that's what Obama funded. That's what created the October 7th attack. And that's what Trump's out to end. It's not just missiles, nuclear weapons, and proxies. That's downstream from a nation that was built on religious conflict. President Trump is now pulling Iran into the U.S.-based system, or letting them hang themselves in their own spite. His goal is to secure the dollar-based system, secure U.S. security and trade, and end the axis of evil construct that created perpetual war. That's how we make America great again, a period of peace to rebuild the nation. And this is exactly what Vice President J.D. Vance addressed Monday morning after the first digital signing. Quote, if you go back to the Obama administration, really over the entire 47 years, we've never had this level of direct connection, where the people at the highest levels of the United States government are now talking to the people at the highest levels of the Iranian government. And then he went on, we are now speaking directly to the Iranian system. We fundamentally have all the cards here. We don't have to give Iranians anything. If we just stopped here, their military is destroyed, the Strait of Hormuz is open, their nuclear program has been destroyed, and we have incredible economic leverage we didn't have a year and a half ago. And then he said, though, the option is clear. The president is also saying, we're extending an open hand. If you want to change your relationship with the United States, we'll change our relationship with Iran. That's the offer. And we'll have to see whether they meet us there. End quote. That's a complete change of dynamic, and it coincides with the diplomatic coup Trump pulled off across the entire region. Egypt, Turkey, Pakistan, Jordan, Iraq, and the Gulf monarchies, all of them are on board with the US-based international system. All of them are now putting coherent pressure on Iran to integrate rather than stay a pariah. So what about Israel and Lebanon? In a press conference with the Emir of Qatar on Tuesday, Trump aired his frustration with Israel's bombing of Beirut. He said, quote, "You don't have to knock down an apartment house every time you're looking for somebody. There are a lot of people in those apartment houses, and they're not all Hezbollah, I can tell you that." Then he said the president of Syria, backed by Erdogan of Turkey, should handle Hezbollah. That's a wild idea. Maybe it would work. It certainly makes Israel think twice about blowing up the deal. The last thing Israel wants is an expanded Turkey reviving the Ottoman Empire. But what's better for Israel? An expanded Abraham Accords and regional integration? Or constant war? The answer is obvious, and it's why Trump went to war in the first place. The October 7th attack, run by Iran through Hamas, was meant to blow up Trump's Abraham Accords and the Saudi-Israel deal. Trump hasn't been trying to please the neocons. He's building an entirely new system, a system that's good for all the nations of the region and the world. Now, none of this assumes Iran will play nice, but this was no multilateral Obama appeasement deal brokered by do-nothing diplomats. Trump incentivized the entire region, 1, to support the United States, 2, he forced Iran into direct negotiations, and 3, he's moved to expand the Abraham Accords for Israel's long-term security. What he hasn't done is start another forever war, or leave the region festering in perpetual religious animosity. He's built the basis for lasting peace within the US-based international system. And as Trump told the New York Times on Sunday, the major powers, Russia and China, they didn't get in the way, they let him operate as he saw necessary, they let him close the strait, and they let him force a real negotiation. Trump wasn't coordinating with the impotent powers of Europe. He's working with the major powers. And by doing so, he's dismantling the axis of evil and bringing them, those major powers, into the US-based system on our terms. Now, the ball is in Iran's court. As Vance said, they can join the US-based system, or they can sit outside it while their nation suffers. The choice is theirs. But Trump is already moving on. The day Trump signed the Iran deal, on his 80th birthday, he also talked to Zelensky and Putin. He's pulling the whole system together. While the war in Ukraine was stalemating, he shifted focus to Iran. After addressing the Middle East crisis, he's back to solving the big one in Europe. And while Europe has only grown weaker in the meantime, he's gotten more momentum. Just last week, Zelensky flew to London and met with the so-called E3, Britain, France, and Germany. And then he had his sixth audience with King Charles. What is going on? The British Crown and these leaders have spent 4 years obsessed over war with Russia. And what came out of the summit? Just another joint statement calling essentially for more war. Realize that this is the same apparatus that gave us World War I and World War II, which nearly destroyed Western civilization. Outfits like the British Milner Group, which lie in the shadows but look to pull the strings. They prefer to operate behind the scenes, but their modus operandi has been to control the media, the academy, and the think tanks. And then from there, they think they can make any government do whatever they want. That's how they ran the coup in Kiev in 2014. But now they're operating in broad daylight because of total panic. The US no longer supports their plans for World War. And Zelensky's problem is that his 3 greatest allies, the so-called E3, are in total collapse. They're lapdogs begging for a bone. 3 days after Zelensky got lap time with the king, the British government began its own form of controlled disintegration. The defense secretary and the armed forces minister both walked out of government on the same day. The reason was obvious. Their army is busted and broke, and the government doesn't have a dime to spare. And it's so bad, they just walked away. This is the same government, mind you, pushing for war with Russia. Prime Minister Keir Starmer is just weeks away from being replaced, and it isn't just London. In France, Macron is a stuffed doll, and Marine Le Pen's National Rally, now led by Jordan Bardella, is the most popular party in the country and the frontrunner for 2027. In Germany, the AfD has now passed Merz's CDU, the first time a new party has led in modern German history. These patriotic forces in France and Germany are more than ready to work with Russia and end the threat of war. And that's the point. While the shadow regime is governing for war at home and abroad, the people of Europe are voting for peace. Peace abroad and peace at home, to end the mass migration, the rape gangs, and the push to create ethnic war in Europe. And President Trump is squeezing this entire dynamic. For months, the European press has screamed that Russia is coming, that Putin won't stop at Ukraine, that Poland, the Baltics, and Germany are all next. This is the drumbeat behind every weapon shipment and every sanction. Mark Rutte, the head of NATO, said it last December. The dark forces of oppression are on the march again. We are Russia's next target. The head of Dutch military intelligence said it in April. Russia poses the greatest and most direct threat to peace and stability in Europe. There's just one problem. NATO's own commander says it's a lie. U.S. General Alexis Grinkovich, the Supreme Allied Commander Europe, the highest military officer in the alliance, said it in Berlin this month. Quote, "I've watched the intelligence very closely. Russia is not looking for a conflict." It's a bombshell. This general has every piece of NATO intelligence, and he can say publicly that there's no invasion coming, that Russia is not looking for conflict. The European politicians are literally telling their citizens world war is inevitable, because the threat is the last thing holding the shadow regime's EU-NATO complex together. Now put Trump's call with Putin on Sunday in this context. According to the Kremlin's own readout, Putin called to wish Trump a happy 80th birthday. They talked about the Iran deal and the war in Ukraine. Putin's aides reports that President Trump then referred to the alliance between the United States and Russia in the Second World War, and he said it simply cannot be forgotten. This is the last thing the shadow regime wants to hear. The establishment in London and Brussels have spent 35 years since the end of the Cold War making sure that the US-Russia relationship is buried in a Cold War mentality. The problem is that relationship goes back 250 years when Russia supported the American Revolutionary War. And so a United States that starts working with Russia is clearly a United States they can't control. And that's exactly what President Trump is reviving. The American revolutionary reflex that these globalists just can't control. So while the regime pushes for another war to destroy Western civilization, an American general tells them it's all based on a lie. This is what we call globalist regime change. President Trump is creating a new era of peace abroad while bringing the war home to the very center of globalist control, the Federal Reserve. Just last year, President Trump's own Treasury Secretary named the disease. Scott Bessent wrote an op-ed in the Wall Street Journal titled, "The Fed's Gain of Function Monetary Policy." Translation, the Fed has gone from being a bad cold to a raging epidemic of chaos. He said the Fed's forecasts have been consistently wrong, that their models are broken, and that the Fed must change course. He's not calling for a tweak. He's saying the whole institution requires regime change. And the man Trump picked to run the Fed isn't hiding that fact. Here's Kevin Warsh on CNBC earlier this year calling for regime change. Quote, "We need regime change in the conduct of policy. The credibility deficit lies with the incumbents that are at the Fed." and there's very real resistance. Jerome Powell took the unprecedented step and stayed on the Fed board even after being replaced as chair. This is an attempt to stop the regime change. Literally. The goal here is not chaos. That's what the enemy wants. The goal here is to wear them down, to confront the status quo, to expose the naked emperor, and begin to rebuild the institutions and our country. And that's happening. On June 5th, the jobs report came in hot. 172,000 new jobs in May, far past expectations. That's a good thing. And the numbers for March and April were revised upwards for an additional 90,000 jobs. Amazing. During the Iran conflict. This means Americans are working, factories are being constructed, tariffs are protecting investments, illegal immigrants are either leaving or being deported, and there's just no cheap labor replacements. The result? Wages for working class Americans are now rising. So how did Wall Street respond? Now, this is according to David Malpass, the former head of the World Bank, writing on Monday in the Wall Street Journal, of all places. He said, to paraphrase, that Wall Street said the Fed should now raise interest rates to cool inflation. Why? Because in the Fed's own models, real job growth means rising wages, and rising wages is clearly a red flag that inflation is out of control. You get it? When the stock market doubles, that's not inflation, that's wealth creation. But when working people all over the country get better wages, that's inflation. And that's built into the Fed? This is the whole shadow regime in a single rule. But now even a former head of the World Bank can see the need for regime change and is calling for it in the Wall Street Journal. Trump nailed it on Meet the Press on June 7th. He said, quote, growth is the greatest thing you can have, and growth does not cause inflation. We had great job numbers. We're building more factories. We have more money coming into our country than ever before. I don't want to just kill it with high interest rates. And the point is that this is what a real national banking system should be doing, creating real economic growth. Instead of making sure Wall Street's profits are maxed out, Hamilton's national bank stressed manufacturing, the creation of more entrepreneurs, and major infrastructure projects. That is, in sum, building the actual nation. The Fed's regional banks could easily be turned into a national banking system. Take the emphasis off Wall Street. Place the focus on main streets all over the country, from Buffalo to Spokane. Discount bank lending to local firms in critical industries and manufacturing, not discounting the loans on banks on Wall Street. It can be done. It was proposed in the Great Depression. This is what total regime change means, and the enemy knows that's where we're heading. Because the crux of real regime change from Iran, Ukraine, and the US is a question of who's in control. Who controls the direction of the nation? A bunch of global financial corporations who dictate terms via the Fed and central banks? Or is it the nation, its people, and its representatives, to raise the power of its citizens so they can build a civilization? The historical moment we're in today is pretty clear, but it's not resolved. We'll either enter into a new era of global economic growth as Trump is initiating, driven by the spirit of '76, or nations will be pitted against nations by this shadow regime. Chaos will spread, and populations will increasingly fall prey to economic collapse, divisions, and war. This is the true role of the United States. No other nation is based on ending this kind of shadow regime. This is the spirit of '76, and that's the overview. Hit like, subscribe, and sign up for the newsletter. Help us get
America Act. You are now urging Republicans to add that to this third reconciliation bill.
Yeah.
What's your perspective on why election integrity matters so much for national security from your perspective?
Well, we
as the
need it
editor
for
in chief?
our elections. We need to have voter identification, which you don't have right now, on a national basis. We need it for, and the voter ID is very important. We need it for proof of citizenship. Do you believe it? The Democrats are fighting. They don't want you to prove your citizenship when you vote. You know why they want that? Because they cheat. And we also want it with mail-in voting, where you have people that are sent 7, 8 ballots, 2 ballots, 4 ballots, and a lot of them sign those ballots, mail-in voting, and we want to be very judicious if you're in the military and you're far away, or if you're handicapped, or if you're sick, or if you're on vacation, that you have but you're not going to, millions and millions, look at California, they send out millions of ballots, tens of millions, they have no idea what's going on. Those elections are so corrupt, so we have a mail-in ballot, then we have no men, and we had 2 more, no men in women's sports, talking about saving America, right? No men in women's sports, another one, very popular. I think it's 99-1. They say it's 80-20. I think it's 99-1. And we have no mutilization of your children for transgender purposes. So it's the transgender mutilization of your children. Does that sound good with you guys, generally speaking? You're not into transgender mutilization
Not
of
at
your
all.
child, right?
Not at all, sir.
Where your child leaves your house and they take your child from you. In some cases, think of it, in 6 states, they take the child and do what they want to do. What they do is I don't even want to talk about it. We had that, no transgender mutilization.
Okay, yeah, enough about that. The whole situation's just gross stuff. I hate that we're even in this weird world where we have to like defend ourselves over just like absurd things. Anyways, NSA confirms Anthropic's Mythos AI broke into almost all classified systems in hours. According to Senate Intelligence Committee Vice Chair Senator Mike Warner, NSA and Cyber Command leadership revealed that the powerful AI model penetrated nearly every classified network during testing, not over weeks, but in just hours. Crazy. The age of AI. It's both a blessing and a curse, I guess. Judge Sparkle decrees that America belongs to any random alien on planet Earth, just like our founders intended. What? Just gonna repost that and move on. Alright. What we got here? The Iranian delegation has left the negotiation venue in Switzerland and refuses to return unless Trump apologizes for his threats and Israel fully withdraws from southern Lebanon. Israel's state media has confirmed the move. This is from yesterday. They were in a bit of a tiff yesterday, back and forth. Trump randomly, well, I don't know what triggered Trump exactly to threaten Iran. I guess Iran was saying they might leave or something. And then Trump comes out and says, like, I will destroy you or bomb you even harder. And then he says, like, if you try to leave, like, I'll, make sure you can't leave or something like that. It was just, or if you try to shut down the strait, I'll make sure you can't leave. I think that's what it was. So, yeah, he was kind of like holding him hostage. And I don't know, I made sure to voice my opinion. I was like, wow, this is very third world behavior, if you ask me. Tucker Carlson ends 35-year Republican support over foreign policy. Tucker Carlson has been hitting Trump pretty hard lately, in my opinion. Iran claims full control of Strait of Hormuz after U.S. ceasefire deal. Yuri Geller claims Iran used brainwaves on Trump for Iran deal. Yeah, I think he's Israeli. I think he's saying that Iran is somehow controlling Trump's brain via some weird frequency. How? I mean, beats me. Beats me, guys. We already talked about Rand Paul subpoenaing Fauci, so we're not going to keep talking about that. We've got some of the Tucker videos. He might have said something even spicier by now, but yeah. Like I said, this is from yesterday, and this has already kind of changed a little bit since then. It seems like they might have come to some type of terms for the 60-day period where they're drawing up an agreement. Yes, they have to take 2 months to draw up an agreement. Alright, what is this? Benjamin Netanyahu admits he has changed Israel's security doctrine to strictly follow the Babylonian Talmud. Kill them first. We initiate, we attack, we surprise. And then I said, there's a Babylonian Talmud. I think I do remember hearing that there was a more ancient form of the Talmud, but I thought it was more of a newer thing after Christ. I think there was like a newer form of the Talmud that was created after Christ had come and, gone by that point. Anyways, let's see what he has to say here. Or if we can even understand him, I'm not sure. We'll have to see. U.S.-Iran talks yield mixed claims on
We changed Israel's security doctrine.
On inspectors and Strait of Hormuz. Yeah, I think the U.S. is asking for nuclear inspectors, to be verified and make sure that they actually do their jobs and yada, yada, yada.
We initiate, we attack, we surprise, and we change Israel's security doctrine. We initiate, we attack, we surprise, and we attack those enemies that seek our destruction, that seek to kill us. We attack them before they have a chance to do so. If you know Hebrew, Akam leorgecha, Ashkem leorgo. Kill them first. We change Israel's.
So on the right, we have more recent news, and on the left, it's from yesterday, basically.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. What's the latest you've heard from the Vice President? Are you happy with his negotiations?
Yeah.
And can you share a little bit about what Secretary Rubio will be doing in the Middle East this week?
I think that they're doing a fantastic job. Our secretary is fantastic. I think he's maybe going to go down as the best ever. And I thought J.D. Vance this morning was fantastic. I watched his news conference, and from Switzerland, he's a very smart guy. He did a great job. When I look at the Democrats, I call them the Democrats. They're dumb. The Democrats. When I watched that, where one of them thought it was World War XI, she said World War XI. She meant World War II. You know about that, right? This is one of their potential leaders, Ilhan Omar, who married her brother to get into the country, by the way, illegally. But when I watch AOC, have no idea on a simple question, what happened when she was over in Switzerland, which probably never went there before, but she was And then I watch somebody
Yeah, hey,
like
guys.
JD or Marco. I said, what a difference. What a difference. What a difference a brain makes.
This is from yesterday.
Good morning. I just spoke with President Trump for more than 20 minutes, and he gave some new insight and reaction about the ongoing talks that are taking place in Switzerland and the threats coming from the Iranian regime. President Trump telling Fox News that the U.S. may take over the strait in the future if they have to and collect tolls. The president described this as the United States being the guardian angel of the Strait of Hormuz and the Middle East. And the president said ultimately that would involve the U.S. taking 20% of the oil that passes through the strait. Remember, this comes in reaction to the Iranians saying they will close the Strait of Hormuz in response to Israeli strikes against Hezbollah in Lebanon. President Trump tells Fox News he spoke with Iranian officials overnight and said, you close it and you won't have a country. He went on to tell these officials, you won't even make it back to your effing country. Now, earlier today, Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian said this about Iranian enrichment of uranium. The president also reacting to that. Take a listen.
We will not give up our right to enrichment, and they, too, will be forced to accept it. You all know what the so-called President of the United States was saying. He had made a complete 100-degree turn. He was saying that Iran must surrender unconditionally. Iran has no right to do this, it has no right to do that.
President Trump, during our call, responded directly to those comments by Iranian President Masoud Pezeshkian. President Trump told Fox News he better watch his mouth, he better shape up, or we'll take over the rest of the country. And so clearly the president reacting directly to these comments from Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian. And also President Trump talked about the broader memorandum of understanding, indicating this is just a ceasefire extension. This is not the final deal with the Iranian regime. And the president says he holds the cards and maintains a variety of options if the Iranians don't make these serious commitments at the negotiating table. He said I have a 60-day option, and I can do whatever I want after that option. So again, President Trump leaving a variety of considerations on the table and says that the United States could become the guardian angel of the Strait of Hormuz and collect tolls itself while taking oil for around 20%, the president says. As it relates to oil, President Trump also said that 19 million barrels of crude oil exited the Persian Gulf yesterday as a result of this memorandum of understanding with the Iranians. Guys?
So, Trey, as always, a fascinating.
I would not support the Republican Party. There's no chance I would support the Republican Party. I'm not going to support the Democratic Party. I don't know what I'm going to do. But at this point, you know, how could I or any American voter support a political party that's not loyal to the United States, that puts the interests of a foreign country above those of its own citizens? Like, that's you know, it's not possible to vote for people like that, and I'm not going to. And I think I voted Republican my entire life. I worked at Fox News, CNN, right, MSNBC. I've been a consistent defender for 35 years of the Republican Party. I mean, very consistent defender. But there's no defending this because it's immoral, and it's exactly the opposite of what a political party in a democracy is charged with doing, which is representing its own voters, its own citizens, its own nation, and they're not doing that. So, no, I'm out. And if I'm out, then I think a lot of other people are out. I would not support the Republican Party. There's no chance.
He expected to resign as soon as tomorrow amid growing pressure over his leadership and support within his party. The Observer writing, quote, the Prime Minister is understood to have reached the conclusion that his position is no longer tenable after conversations in recent days. Starmer is under pressure to make his intentions clear before Tuesday's critical cabinet meeting, where ministers are planning to tell him that his time is up. They expected.
Yeah. Okay.
Hormuz Strait. We took in more oil yesterday than has ever gone through the strait. You probably see that we have an oil gusher. The strait is totally open. You know that, and we're negotiating. We'll see how that all goes. But we have two things: we have an open strait, and we have a country that will never have a nuclear weapon. Will never, ever have a nuclear weapon. So now I'd like to invite Michael Kratsios, Director of the Office of the Hormuz.
We will not give up our right to enrichment, and they too will be forced to accept it. You all know what the so-called President of the United States was saying. He has made a complete 180-degree turn. He was saying that Iran must surrender unconditionally. Iran has no right to do this, it has no right to do that. Then he gave a speech and said that Iran has the right to do this, it has the right to possess this. In other words, he has reversed himself by 180 degrees compared to his previous positions and has accepted that they cannot ignore our rights. We will not give up our right to enrichment, and they too.
شاید من جز نفرات اولی بودم در همون آغاز جنگ که هنوز آتش بس نبود. من یه توییت زدم به روشنی این رو گفتم همه بدونن که هرگز دیگه اداره تنگه به قبل از جنگ باز نخواهد گشت. ما البته قوانین بین‌المللی رو به طور دقیق اجرا میکنیم. یعنی این رو شاید من جز نفرات اولی بودم در همون آغاز جنگ که هنوز آتش بس نبود. من یه توییت زدم به روشنی
The number one threat for America is the Muslim Brotherhood. CARE and the Muslim Brotherhood are trying to take over now Florida and Texas, and first they take Florida, then they take Texas, and then America falls. New York, they already took over. Now, it's not only a threat for America, it's a threat for Israel. And 15 years from now, Israel will have a war with Egypt. The Muslim Brotherhood will eventually take over Egypt. The Muslim Brotherhood, which is a Sunni jihad, now, after we weaken the Shia jihad, will be a threat to the world. Turkey is now taking over. Fidan Khan, what's his name? The foreign minister, Hakam Fidan, the foreign minister of Turkey, announced that we took Haleb, we took Damascus, and Jerusalem is next. The Sunni jihad is the next enemy. Israel needs to be strong. America needs to be strong. Unfortunately, America is weak. Now, imagine you're an Israeli prime minister today. And you understand that in 15 years, you're going to have a war with Egypt, and you don't know who's going to be the prime minister, the president of the United States in 15 years from now. What do you do today to address that challenge? Even if it's an American one, the Muslim Brotherhood takes Texas and Florida, imagine where America can be. That's a threat not only to Israel, not to Western society, it's a threat to mankind.
Well said.
Fox News alert, you close it and you won't have a country. You won't even make it back to your effing country. That was the warning Trump gave the Iranians this weekend in Switzerland after the mullahs got cute and said they closed the strait. The Iranians blamed it on Israel, saying they violated the MOU by waging war in Lebanon. More on that later. But Trump says if the Iranians don't seal this deal, we'll blow the ish out of them and then collect tolls and take 20% of their oil. Trump even told their president, quote, you better watch his mouth or we'll take over the rest of the country. After the tongue lashing, the Iranians threatened to walk out of peace talks. But it was very different behind the scenes.
Yes, they did threaten to walk out, or at least there were social media threats that they would walk out. But we were negotiating well past 1 in the morning yesterday, so they didn't walk out. What we told the Iranians yesterday is when you guys engage in what us millennials might call trash talk, you can't expect the President of the United States not to respond and not to correct the record. So when they say things that aren't true, the President is going to respond to it. I'm going to respond to it. Americans are going to respond to it.
JD just spent 36 hours in a room negotiating with the Iranians at Lake Lucerne in the foothills of the Alps. Inside, it felt like a marathon. But there was a lot of progress, especially on nukes. Stand by for details. The strait never closed. Tanker traffic went way up. 17 million barrels sailed out Saturday. Like usual, the Iranians were bluffing.
We're doing very well with respect to the Hormuz Strait. We took in more oil yesterday than has ever gone through the strait. You probably see that we have an oil gusher. But we have two things. We have an open strait, and we have a country that will never have a nuclear weapon. Will never, ever have a nuclear weapon.
A weekend in Switzerland, Advance is coming home with a straight peace plan.
We also wanted to make sure that we actually set out the coordination mechanism so that we could demine the Straits of Hormuz, so that when there are the conflicts that inevitably come up, we can make sure we work through them rather than that leading to escalation, and that is exactly what we did yesterday.
The biggest headline from the Swiss summit, the Persians are letting our inspectors in.
The Iranians have agreed to invite IAEA inspectors back into their country. That is a major milestone for the American people and the first step in permanently denuclearizing or permanently ending a nuclear weapons program. And
Wickoff added that Iran's letting in UN and U.S. inspectors. Trump says this is Iran's way of ensuring nuclear honesty. There aren't any dollars without trust and the dust. We're not airmailing them pallets of cash like Barack. After we get their uranium, we're unfreezing their money, but they can't use it for jihad. They have to buy American.
If there is any frozen Iranian assets that are unfrozen, then we have approval over that process, the Qataris have approval over that process, and then the money would actually go to buy American soy, American corn, and American wheat for the benefit of the Iranian people.
This pays back American farmers hurt by the fertilizer crunch. So in a single weekend, a mechanism to keep the Strait open, inspectors at their nuke sites, and we're making American farmers whole with unfrozen Iranian cash. What else? Israel's going to set up a Hezbollah hotline, so whenever there's airstrikes, they can hop on the phone and talk each other down.
We wanted to make sure that we had the proper coordination set up so that if there is shooting, if Hezbollah fires at Israel or if Israel responds, if there are other conflicts that arise in the region, we're actually talking to each other and figuring out how to stop the shooting, how to make the region safer, our allies and everybody else.
Yesterday was the first time shots weren't fired between Israel and Hezbollah since March. So we have 1 day under our belt. Congrats, guys. The question is, Netanyahu has an itchy trigger finger. How do we keep it in check until we sign the final Iran deal? Israel's been on the warpath since October 7th. I get it. And he doesn't seem to be ready to call it quits.
The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said his forces are not leaving Lebanon. That is a sticking point.
Who did he tell that to you?
He said it publicly in Israel.
Well, we're going to take a look at it.
Well, what would you do to make sure that he doesn't?
Well, I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do, but it gets solved. I'm a problem solver.
U.S. intelligence is warning the White House that Israel could undermine our peace deal and go hog wild in Lebanon. Netanyahu is under pressure at home to fight. October 7th, still fresh. It's an election year, and the majority of the country wants the politicians to lay siege to the north and full regime change in Iran. Now, this isn't Trump's agenda. Our priorities are keeping the Strait open and demolishing the dust. Iran senses an opening and could use Hezbollah to fracture the U.S.-Israel alliance at a time when U.S. opinion of Israel is falling. Israel's been a great military ally during Epic Fury, but there's going to be some friction ahead during the peace process. Ultimately, Trump's the boss, and all the pieces are in place.
We laid a very good foundation for a successful final deal. The final deal is the house. We set the foundation. We haven't built the house, but we've laid a successful foundation to get to a good place for the American people.
Right now, Vance is still in the sky. Technical teams from both sides stayed in Switzerland to create a 50-day pathway to the final deal. Iran has called the talks major progress. The Arab mediators are calling it positive. Hopefully, we're on the cusp of a new Middle East. Bombs and blockade turned out to be better negotiators than Barry, Biden, Kerry, and pretty much every diplomat in the last 47 years.
If Iran doesn't live up to their agreement, or if they're not behaving, I will do what I have to do.
So does that give them leverage? The Iranians leverage over you?
Oh, you're so leverage. You know, their Navy is gone. Their Air Force is gone. Their leaders are all dead. Their whole country's a mess. You have to hear the conversations. Who wants to be president? I don't want it. Nobody wants to be president.
And yet people keep giving opinions about me that aren't true. I read headlines and I go, did I say that? No, I didn't say that. So I just want to explain, I'm not an agent for the Israeli government. I don't meet with the Israeli government. I don't conspire with the Israeli government. Believe it or not, I love this country and I don't need any government to tell me that. And yet people keep giving opinions about me that aren't true.
I didn't even say that.
I read headlines and I go, did I say that?
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. What's the latest you've heard from the Vice President? Are you happy with his negotiations?
Yeah.
And can you share a little bit about what Secretary Rubio will be doing in the Middle East this week?
I think that they're doing a fantastic job. Our secretary is fantastic. I think he's maybe going to go down as the best ever. And I thought J.D. Vance this morning was fantastic. I watched his news conference and from Switzerland. He's a very smart guy. He did a great job. You know, when I look at the Democrats, I call them the Democrats. They're dumb. The Democrats. When I watched that, where one of them thought it was World War XI, she said.
Oh, yeah, we already saw that. We already read that one too. We saw that. We saw that. We saw that. We're watching that right now. We're in the middle of it. Rep out Paulina Luna. We have been told these are interdimensional, not extraterrestrial. Or ultra-dimensional. Or, I'm sorry, ultra-terrestrial. Not even saying it right. Look at this big blurry picture. That's all we ever get. Interdimensional. And people think that we're just like seeing like a sliver of whatever this is coming in from another dimension. It's just like poking into ours, kind of. I mean, that's what the theory is. I don't know for fact. I don't think anybody actually knows, but yeah. That's what we have to work with.
In the next, I think, week or so, there's going to be another tranche of documents, or footage. But it's one of those things that we won't tell you what to believe. You can look at it and review it for yourself. I think a lot of people realize, maybe we're not the only thing on this planet, but I don't like to speculate other than, our witnesses have told us some very interesting things. They don't use the word extraterrestrial. They use interdimensional, and then look for the stuff for yourself and make your own conclusions.
Solution. I think it's going to fail. What happens next? I spent 4.5 hours with President Trump Friday. Here's what I think will happen next. If this deal fails, President Trump is going to take the Strait of Hormuz over by force. The United States will control the Strait of Hormuz. We'll charge a fee for all those who go through to pay for the operation, and we're going to expand the Abraham Accords in calendar year 2026. We're going to get Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords, and which is the biggest change in 5,000 years in the Mideast. And if Iran contests control of the Strait of Hormuz by the United States, we will obliterate them. So to all the people listening, if this diplomatic effort fails, President Trump is going to take the Strait of Hormuz. Yep. We're going to run it. We're going to try to get Saudi Arabia to join the Abraham Accords to end the Arab-Israeli conflict in 2026. And if Iran continues to attack Israel and Lebanon, the new policy will be we'll hit Iran. So to the Iranians, if you're listening, when you use Hezbollah to attack Israel, I think the new policy will be we will attack Iran.
Kind of weird bunk polling is this? Do you support the peace deal? Of course you're going to support it. Maybe we all just want it to stop. Israeli TV commentators are claiming that Iran is influencing President Trump through low-frequency radio wave technology. That's what this video is.
בדיוק כוחות טלפתיים, אבל כוחות אלקטרומגנטיים. לרוסים יש את זה, לקוריאנים יש את זה, ולאיראנים יש את זה. אני יודע שזה נשמע כאילו לקחתי איזה מסרט בדיוני, אבל זה באמת, זה בתפקיד עכשיו. פועלים עם הנשק הזה, ולפי דעתי, החדירו לו למוח את הגלים האלו. אני לא בדיוק יודע, יכול להיות שאפילו ברוסיה, כאשר הוא היה ברוסיה, זה מאוד קל, אפילו מהשגרירות בוושינגטון, סליחה, בסין, פגעו בו בסין. הם יכולים לראות את הנשק הזה משגרירות בוושינגטון.
אז אורי, למה אתה לא מפעיל את הנשק הטלפתי שלך, האלקטרומגנטי שלך, כדי לאזן אותו מחדש?
תאמיני או לא, ביקשו ממני לעשות את זה, ואני עובד על זה.
מי ביקש? נו, תשתף אותנו. מאיפה הגיעה הפנייה?
טל, יש דברים שאני לא יכול לגלות, אבל אנחנו עובדים על זה, ואני אומר שיש שינוי רציני בדונלד טראמפ ממש בקרוב.
תגיד, גם בסגנים שלו? זה אותו סיפור לדעתך, הנשק האלקטרומגנטי?
ויטקוף, תראו, יכול...
So yeah, he's basically just saying that he thinks that Iran is using some type of electromagnetic weapon on him. Anyways, so the police are attacking women in the UK. Oh, and the White House is Q posting. Q is for quantum.
Go on, you man! No, you're being dispersed for the breach of the peace. No, we get lots of money. Stop swearing, get moving. Yo, what's he doing? Yo, was he mad? Why is he squaring up to him? Yo, he's got the baton! Yo! Yo, what are they doing? Yo!
Wow. Alrighty. Alright, we're just gonna stop it right there. It's about done anyways. The U.S. government should be the top pick choice. Israel only exists because of the USA. This is Thomas Massey putting out a poll. What is the most dangerous threat to liberty in America? Israel and the U.S. government at the top. Israel topped out, but I said the U.S. government should actually be at the top. You are enjoying the show, or are you enjoying the show? This is from the Department of War, CTO. So yeah. Refill your popcorn, you'll love the next part. So yeah, they're Q posting, and Trump signed some type of executive order for quantum computing today. Okay, well, you know, I'm still waiting to see something that I love. I mean, I don't know. It's so weird, like, having to deal with all this, like, positive propaganda, these positive psyops being put up by the White House and the administration, but then never really seeing the results of all these, you know, magnificent events that supposedly are happening behind the scenes. Quantum mania. The next founder of quantum innovation, says the White House. Oh yeah, and the White House posted this, so they actually are Q posting. I haven't actually verified if this post is true or not. I don't think that this is actually a Q post. It doesn't look like it. It looks fake to me, but at the same time, they copied the, you know, kind of layout from Q. They have 47 here. Yeah, I don't think this is a Q post. I think this is like just some knockoff Q post from the White House, but it's just kind of like, why do they keep latching on to this whole thing if it's not real? Or I don't know, maybe they're trying to make it real. America, or maybe it is real. Who knows? I mean, I guess I should list all the possibilities just in case. Been wrong before, so I mean, it wouldn't be too surprising if they actually created it, but at the same time, I still don't trust it because I don't see anything positive changing in my life yet. And I'm kind of tired of waiting. It's like, we're, you know, a year and a half into this administration. We need to see some real results. We need to see, you know, some actual productivity, positive changes in everybody's life. This is Vance, I think, getting shut down and or getting shunned from the Iranian delegation.
Okay. All right, guys.
Let's get real close to this one. So you can get a sense. Walks right past them. JD Vance waits there patiently. He walks behind him.
Okay. All right, guys.
Kind of obvious he's avoiding eye contact, avoiding any contact. Maureen Nafal says this is brutal. Vance flew to Geneva for Iran talks, and the Qatari minister just flat out refused to greet him. Okay, so I'm sorry. That was actually the Qatari minister, not the Iranian. So Qatar is not happy, apparently. The fix everything button is literally just to arrest criminals and keep them in jail. Bukele was able to do this in a matter of months. El Salvador's monthly homicides, you can see they dropped off a little bit after, I guess, 2021, 2022, somewhere in there. Elon Musk is reposting it. Also, we have the Steam machine here. I said in a live chat earlier that there's 4 different models. There's not 4 different models, there's actually 2 different models with 2 different sizes, I think, in the storage capacity. I think they have the same specs otherwise, but I haven't really checked entirely yet. But there actually are 4 different purchase packages. There's, I guess, the console itself, and then you can also buy it with a controller. I think the controller is optional, and that's why there's 4 different packages. There's 2 different models, and then there's 4 packages where you get, let's just say, 2 packages are just the first model, one with or without a controller, and the same for the other model, where you get either one with or without a controller. And it's a little bit more expensive. I think the controller's around $60 or something. You can see the price difference actually right here. See all the different pay packages down here. You get all the beautiful specs right here for anybody that's interested. It looks like it has got 16 gigs of RAM, and then you got 8 gigs of dedicated video RAM, 2 terabyte storage. It also has a micro SD card slot for expansion, integrated Steam controller. Looks like it also has like some type of touchpad or something on the controller. SteamOS 3. I didn't even know they had a SteamOS. I guess they probably have it for the Steam Deck and stuff. Haven't actually used one yet, so I don't know. They have those things on display anywhere? You gotta like actually play with some of these things sometimes. I don't do that stuff as much as I used to. Benjamin Netanyahu once again during a peace meeting between the U.S. and Iran goes full psychotic mode and says he will occupy Lebanon for as long as necessary. Lovely. Not lovely, actually.
מדינת ישראל לא תהיה אפיזודה חולפת בתולדות עמנו. אנחנו עומדים איתן על האינטרסים החיוניים שלנו. השגנו הישגים כבירים ולא נוותר עליהם. נשאר ברצועת הביטחון בדרום לבנון ככל שידרש, כדי להגן על תושבי הצפון היקרים לנו ועל אזרחי המדינה כולה. כראש ממשלת ישראל, אני עומד על כך בתוקף, ושום דבר לא ישנה זאת. וביחס לאיראן, יהיו אשר יהיו ההתפתחויות המדיניות, לא אתן לאיראן להתחמש בנשק גרעיני.
Is that looping? I don't even know. Israel's government is on the brink of collapse. This is from Parody Jeff, but it's also from Polymarket. Polymarket now put the chance of Israel's parliament dissolving by the end of the next month at nearly 70%. I think it was like 68% or something. Yeah, 68% from Mario Nafal. Hillary cuts into Israel's Qatar funding to Hamas. Unlikely ally in this situation. Ugh,
why did October 7th happen? What were the signals that were missed? What could have been done differently? What did Bibi Netanyahu think he was doing, having Qatar pay Hamas millions and millions of dollars a month in order, in his thinking, to weaken the Palestinian Authority? What did he think was going to happen? So I guess my point, David, is I want to know everything I can know. I want to know everything I can about the intelligence failures, the military decisions, before I'm willing to say you could have done this or you should have done that or pass judgment.
I received a text today. I received a text today from the best journalist I know in Israel, a very keen defense analyst, and he said, this memo of understanding is the end of Bibi. In other words, that after the failures of October 7th, he had decided that his political future would rest on his revival of Israeli strength, the reassertion of Israeli strength. He never apologized for October 7th, never took responsibility for it, but that this would be his path forward, and then he would keep at bay all comers, whether it's Gadi Eisenkot or whoever it might be. But that this memo of understanding is understood in Israel as a defeat, and a defeat of Bibi, and that this is the likely political end of him. I think a lot of people have gone broke predicting the political end of Bibi Netanyahu. Are you willing to go broke?
You know, he has certainly more than 9 lives politically. But I think this is a real defeat for him. because as you say, and I agree, he did push Trump into the war against Iran. Trump was ill-prepared. The strategy was incoherent. We didn't gain anything of real importance, and we may have lost a lot. But that means Bibi also lost, because to go into that kind of alliance and to push Trump to do something that Trump, I'm not sure, even understood the implications of, and then for Trump wanting to get out of it, because what did he say a few weeks ago? I'm bored, this is boring, trying to make peace is boring. So Bibi's left out there by himself. And there are several really serious questions. You know, what he's doing in Lebanon now is, to me, counterproductive. Israel has never had, in as long as I can remember, a government that started out more open to working with Israel to try to disarm Hezbollah. Now, could the Lebanese army have done it on their own? No. But could the Lebanese army, with support from Israeli intelligence and maybe even Israeli military support in some forms, have gotten closer to it? The Lebanese people were turning against Hezbollah, turning against their military activities, turning against their political project, which, as you know, their political arm is represented in the Lebanese government. Sure. And rather than trying to be, you know, in my view, kind of smart about how to build up a Lebanese government for the purpose of disarming and neutering Hezbollah, which is definitely in Israel's interest, Israel has been engaged in this bombardment of Lebanon. And, you know, so they're fighting on that front. I think they're turning a blind eye to the settler violence in the West Bank is extremely dangerous. You look at the training of the Palestinian Defense Forces, which started under George W. Bush, continued under Obama, continued probably to this day, where Palestinians under an agreement between Jordan and the United States were trained in Jordan to provide security. And they were a partner to the IDF. You know, when what happened in Gaza, Hamas kept expecting to see uprisings in the West Bank, uprising by Hezbollah, you know, surrounding Israel on all sides. That didn't happen. At that time, Hezbollah started doing some rockets and other stuff, but I think mostly under Iranian pressure to step up and do that. And so to be creating a tinder box of potential uprising in the West Bank while you're fighting Hezbollah, while Hamas still controls 40% of Gaza, and they control it militarily and civilly. And that has not been uprooted yet. So I think, you know, Netanyahu believes that war is his friend because his political standing is under attack from a lot of different directions. And he wants to contain the opposition by creating conflict so that he tries to rally the country behind him. I think this Iran deal may be, you know, the straw that finally breaks that and creates an opening for, you know, his departure in the upcoming elections and, you know, a government that is certainly going to be very concerned about Israel's security, but might be somewhat more, you know, adept at dealing with these problems in a way that enhances Israel's security. And, you know, there's a great line somebody said to me the other day, you know, Israel was the startup nation. I mean, the amount of economic activity, technology, obviously defense, businesses that sprang up. But I'm worried that if you don't see a government that understands the importance of tending to Israel's economy and future, you're going to see a big exit by particularly young Israelis. And there is some evidence of that.
An exit of young Israelis and an exit of many Democrats from reflexive support of Israel as well.
Okay, we're going to get into the game here soon. We're going to finish up with a few more videos.
Russia is actively considering the use of nuclear weapons against Europe. Not against Kiev, against Europe. Specifically, the UK and Germany. Just taking out the UK and Germany with nuclear weapons. That's a fact. Now, we're going to explain why we know that that's true in a moment. And at the end of this open, we're going to play an interview we did a few hours ago with a man called Sergei Karnagov, who is a longtime political advisor to Vladimir Putin and one of the most famous public intellectuals in Russia, been around for about 35 years, advised Boris Yeltsin, 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago. And in that interview, he says point blank, yes, if the Ukraine war continues at this tempo for a year or two more, we, speaking apparently on behalf of the Russian government, on behalf of his friend Putin, or at least someone who's very familiar with President Putin's thinking, we, Russia, will eliminate the UK and Germany with nuclear weapons. Now, that's a headline. No one wants to see Qatari gas wellheads blown up. No one wants to see killing of any kind or destruction of any kind. But taking out the two most important countries in Europe, both of which have big American bases, lots of American personnel, of course, international banking, Germany being the economic engine of Europe, London being the banking center of Europe, really of the West, along with New York. And of course, these are two ancient countries with which we have close ties, history and kinship and genetics. We're going to take them out. We're going to eliminate those countries with nuclear weapons, saying that right into camera. So that's a pretty big story. Have you read that story? Has anyone mentioned that to you? That the most famous public intellectual in Russia, a close friend of Vladimir Putin's, exactly the same age, the two were born a month apart, have known each other a long time, is saying in public that Russia plans to use nuclear weapons against Western Europe, Russia is going to blow up the UK and Germany if things don't get resolved soon. You probably haven't heard that. It hasn't actually been on the front page of the New York Times. I don't think the Times of London has mentioned it. No one seems to be paying any attention at all to the biggest story of our lifetimes, potentially. And that's very odd. And it's not just one guy who's friends with Putin who's saying this. If you watch carefully, or not even carefully, with one eye open at what Russia's been doing recently, things are changing. So Russia has publicly rewritten its nuclear strategy to include use of nuclear weapons against countries that are acting as proxies for nuclear armed powers. Now, this is kind of classic Russian bureaucratic talk, but it means that under Russian law, Russia is permitted to, by its own rules, blow up Germany, even though Germany does not have nuclear weapons. The UK supposedly does. You wonder whose hands they're in. But Germany does not have nuclear weapons, and Russia has just said, no, you're fair game for a nuclear strike. And not a defensive nuclear strike. Like, you launched us, we're going to launch against you. No. You keep poking us in the face, and we're going to eliminate you. Said that publicly. And then last week, a week ago today, Russia sent hypersonic missiles into Kiev, Ukraine. Now, the hypersonic missiles killed probably 4 people. This was not an attack designed to destroy important infrastructure or to cause massive civilian casualties. This was an attack designed as a message, and the Russians just said this, point blank. This was an attack designed to say, whoa, you've pushed us too far. We feel like our core interests, our existential interests are threatened, and if you don't back off, the next hypersonic missile we send, against which no country has any meaningful defense, you can't stop a hypersonic missile. No one's even claimed you can. The next one will have a nuclear warhead on it, and it's coming at you, Europe. Thanks for watching. You can go to tuckercarlson.com for our entire library of everything we've done, and we hope you will.
So yeah, give your 30,000-foot view of this whole thing. You think it's a multi-generational magic trick?
That's the hypothesis I've been operating on, is that it's a multi-generational magic trick.
Being conducted by who?
Being conducted by
Rockefeller types?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I think that there's a Rosicrucian element, a Hermetic Rosicrucian element underpinning this ritual as far as a more neo-Gnostic movement that is that has been working behind the scenes to create the foundations for a reset of global culture, global religions at the end of the millennium, maybe 2033.
A reset of global religions.
Yeah, reset of global mass psychological reset, sparked maybe with some trauma, some shock therapy to the mass zeitgeist, maybe through an induced cataclysm or something like that. And then coming out of the fire, this phoenix and kind of cleansing of the species would be hopefully in their, I think, the minds of a lot of these shaman wannabes, the foundations for a new set of revamped religious beliefs that might center a little bit more on extraterrestrial gods that might have a variety of flavors to them, depending on whether you want it to masquerade as for one of the Christian cults or one of the Muslim or one of the whatever, Hindu, whatever. I think, but they want people to think of Muhammad or Jesus or Moses or any number of their Buddhist doctrines as being something that comes from alien gods, alien creators from either another dimension or maybe this one, but usually I think another dimension or whatever would be the.
So they want to make it seem like all religions sprouted out of this stuff.
Yeah, that the real gods are the aliens, and the real demons.
Like an alien perennialism type thing.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that the angels and the demons, like Aleister Crowley once said, that in the future people will be speaking of aliens and demons, but they won't call them that anymore. And I think that what he understood to be what he expects people to call them will be, just
aliens.
Aliens.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a nice way to account for why bad things happen. Why is there political injustice? Why is there evil in this world? It's the shape-shifting, lizards from whatever that just want us to be sad and suck our fear energy to keep them going. And why is there global warming in their minds? That's one thing David Icke said back in the 90s. He was making the thesis that global warming is part of the plot by the lizards to create a more habitable, lizard-friendly world that they can then occupy over time. So I think it kind of works a little bit to get people to think about these objectively true conspiracies that are multi-generational, that people like the Rockefeller brothers and others have been a part of or initiated into, and then to move the sense of causal nexus into some place that will make us not really capable of doing what Martin Luther King Jr. was doing, or John F. Kennedy, or Fred Hampton, or any number of these noble souls who emerged at different times with a commitment to righting the wrong, and organizing, I think.
And let me tell you how anti-Semitism works down the ages. Ever since we lost our country and we became defenseless, we were defenseless not only against physical attack, but against the vilifications that often and always preceded them. So we were faced in one country with such vilifications, and that led eventually to either one of two things, either exile or massacre. And then we went to another country, and we faced exactly the same thing. After the vituperations and vilifications, that we're poisoning the wells, that we drink the blood of slain children, that we carry vermin. And by the way, these are the exact lies that continued right up to the Nazi Holocaust. Exactly the lies. And let me tell you how anti-Semitism works down there.
Testing. Try this again. I gotta figure out what we're doing before we try this though. good? Am I in the right place? What's that mean? I'm surprised they didn't put like a tutorial.
Weedworms ready to acknowledge life-to-death transition. Shutdown begets new flesh.
What's it talking about columns? Oh, there it is. Fucking A. Dude, I always fucking go over there! What the fuck? I get so mad at myself for doing that. I always want to go over here, I don't know why. I'm gonna pick this up. Oh, me. I have to press it every button. Oh, never mind, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I don't mean to yell. I just always run into that bomb for whatever reason. I don't know why. And they already make it like really hard to like kill and shit. I don't like it. not healing anymore? My connection already bugging out. Fall damage? Yes. Why? I don't like that. Fucking wall in my way. Chasing me. Drop this thing. It's killing me. Yeah. Shoots me too far. LMG. Don't let me look in this thing long enough. Now, like, actually store drinks or what? I don't even know how I picked it up. Yeah, depleted shield charge or whatever that was. What is this for? We're learning. I like playing a Lego. Feels like Legos or something. I don't know why. Oh yeah. Forgot I was going over there.
Units and reinforcements incoming.
Scare me.
Minutes until signals.
Let me run.
Shield's gone.
Damn it. I have one of those trauma kids. Person? The building? I think it does, yeah. Got it. Just basically objective based multiplayer. Then I gotta make it to the crew exfil.
Exfil this way.
This guy just gotta survive now. run into whatever that thing was earlier. I think it was another player, but I'm not sure. He ran away. Dropping anymore. Use the ladders. Be safe, kids. Save your ankles some trouble. Especially in this game. Even though you're like a cybernetic warrior, for whatever reason you can't take a fall. Part of the game though. I need to go up. Nice and colorful.
You have 10 minutes.
Oh, it's closer than I thought it was. That's why they're all nearby. So long to load everything. Switch. Turn it off. Oh no, I don't want to drop that one. Where's the other guy? Wish it gave me the specs like Borderlands does. Oh shit. Where's it at? What the fuck? It changed it on me! No way! Why did it change on me? Dude, that's fucked up. I didn't know those things were timed. Shit, I heard. Damn, dude. This game is not very forgiving. On. Yeah, don't do it. That almost hit me again. sucks because after you run out of sprint, you're like really slow. Keep going, bro. Come on, I got it. I really gotta get there this time. Me. I don't know if I'm dying more in the game or if that song's killing me more. I didn't want that. What the hell? Fuck. Gotta get there this time.
Five minutes remain.
Shit, I'm gonna do that. Wrong thing. Successful mission. We finally did it, y'all. We're starting to get the hang of this a little bit.
The ID badge you found belonged to a new caloric emissions specialist. In return, a company representative identifying himself as Gaius has sent you a neural partition request. New caloric is reputable, as as mega corporations go, but don't let down your pride. They've weathered political storms that devoured entire nation states, and they always seem to come out ahead.
On the cheese, hell yeah, buddy. Alright, what are we doing now? Next one? Alright, good. Alright, it's getting more fun now. Always gets more fun as you figure it out. This agent. Oni. What's up, Oni? His own contract, let's be scripted. Breach. Oh, bitch, we did it.
Mind matter. Who owns your mind runner? UESC, SIAC, Traxxas, Second. Are you free? Mine is here on Tau City, watching to see who stands up, who fights back. So, are you with us? Show us Tau City side. Leave your mark. Then we'll talk.
That was a MIDA agent on the pseudonym Gantry. In addition to sending that message, he's been executing a continuous attack on our neural interface. It's a sophisticated hacking attempt, but don't worry, I'm able to hold him off. Gantry sent mission instructions along with this message. I'm not going to tell you what to do, but it should be clear from this incident that MIDA is unpredictable.
I'm in a good mood today. We're gonna do this one first. Do it in a single run. Let's do it. Oh, we got some new links to establish. I don't like this game, I don't know why. It's got a bunch of cool science shit. Cool digital shit. Still raining hard outside, jeez. Can't even hear it. Jamming out over here.
I am Gaius, contacting you on behalf of the Our mission, my principal directive, is to ensure humanity's survival by meeting its most basic needs. When you crawled through the colony's detritus, you saw numbers stamped on shelters, vehicles, and food. New caloric product numbers. The colony's economic loss is mundane. The setback to human survival is profound. Salt has finite resources. Humanity must escape its problems to avoid a slow extinction. This is why human leaders have engineered bombs that terrify expedition hundreds of years ago. New Caloric wishes to understand the colony's collapse so we may prevent future catastrophes. Will you assist?
not doing that. No. Go back. Okay, we're doing this one. Alright, let's go do it. Before I forget. Back at terminal. What else we got? What's this? Same thing. We got in the vault now. What is this? This looks cool. Assault rifle. Overrun AR. Rate of fire. Firepower is low. It's about the same. It's got an extended mag on it. 24 rounds. I kinda wish I had taken that other gun back with me. The one that shot the bolts. I need something that shoots other ammo types too. Either way. Customize. We can customize now? Can I change this? Hell yeah! Finally got something new. I'm gonna change my name. I need to figure that out sometime. I still don't have any new emblems. Come on now. Got to buy them. Accessories. There it is. Get stickers. Ooh. Alright, I don't care anymore. Let's go. Invite runner to crew. Good. How do I do it? 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 Oh, that's how you do it. I know that. Why is it not letting me? Is this just a solo run? I don't know. What's this? I keep forgetting what the health looks like. No, get out all that stuff. No, go back. That's a cool ass game. It's weird, but that's why I like it. I don't know why. Why is Bungie good like that? They'll make something cool but weird and, I don't know, likable. Like Destiny. I don't know how or why. I kind of wonder where Destiny 3 is at. We're waiting for Destiny 3 for 10 years now. They better be making it. If not, who knows if I'll buy the next expansion pack. This game is never ending that way, so maybe it's good that way. Plus all the low spec players will be able to play it for ages, failed frustrations. still connected. You can take me out if I'm not connected. Capstone upgrades unlocked. Oh, okay. Extra volt capacity. That's good. Great. Here. Oh, like hidden different places. Loading the pump. Did I get everything? Started at like 5. Oh wait, it already kicked me out. What's my mission again? Tech terminal maintenance complex power region. Stuff everywhere. Jeez. Upgrade. Oh, life's too short to read all this shit. I'm sorry. Lego man, let's go. What about a second? Stickers. Hold up, didn't change my dude. Didn't change my dude. Keep it. Okay. Keep this one. Let's like. Let's get out of here. It'll work this time. Turn it on now. Turn on this. How do I turn it on? Going solo is a more challenging experience. I mean, it's not letting me change it, so. No, it's not letting me. Okay. What's the countdown for? Just in time.
Engaging shell monitoring software. Establishing link. Muting alerts.
Oh shit, I just accidentally used the thingy. Meg kit or whatever it is. Dire Marsh. Where's that at? I don't see it anywhere. Did I go to the wrong place? I think I did. Son of a bitch. Why does it take me here if I'm like not on the right mission? Wait. Can I not leave? I think I have to leave the exfil way. So I can't just like leave? Yeah, I think I lose my stuff. Son of a bitch. There's no other missions here? I don't think I'm in the right place, but I have no clue. Why doesn't it have like the map name on the screen? So yeah, it doesn't say Dire Marsh anywhere on the screen. I guess I gotta wait for 2 minutes until the exfil loads. I don't know how else to get back. I guess I can get loot while I wait for the exfil. don't know, is this Dara Marsh? What's the name of the whole map? Right next to me again.
Whatever comes next, here's our route.
Ow! Hold on, drop. Hold on, drop. Fucking A. Somebody else there? Who's shooting? So where's the maintenance place? I guess that's what was not really making a lot of sense to me. Is that how I play with people? Is on normal? Is that why it's doing that? Maybe that's why I couldn't like get people on normal. gotta be on normal mode so I can play with other people. Beginner solo, so I guess that's like the easy difficulty on solo. But it says it's also more difficult, so I don't know. Anybody playing? Turn off my mic so I don't say anything. So I don't say anything stupid. I pissed somebody off right at the beginning. I'm really good at that. Excuse me. I don't know what this little thing is down here. I don't know what that means. Is that where I'm supposed to go? Maybe I'm supposed to go here. What's that mean? Low visibility, pitch dark, low source recommended. Low source recommended. I made a flashlight? You know why it's telling me that? Multi-zone. Did I do both missions at the same time?
Falling satellite, lighting up the night, burning streaks of fire, a fleeting fight. Do they dream of more or just this flight?
Fuck, dude, did I lose everything? I think I lost
Signals whisper, secrets untold. Antennas broken, their stories grow.
Why can't I check my menu while I'm in here? I thought I could.
Dreams of gold. We all cry.
me to do it.
Falling satellites, lighting up the night, burning streaks of fire, leading fight. Did they dream of more?
What the hell?
Just this flight.
Freaking crap, dude. I mean, maybe I need to do solo. Keeps like picking me up for whatever reason. Yeah, it keeps like switching me over too. Alright, so just go to it. Yeah, well. Did solo earlier. What's wrong? I don't understand. Oh, it's letting me do it. What the fuck?
Reminder, move without fear, as you have died before and will again.
Here first. that what that is? A feet? And I think like being in water like cooled me down faster.
closes in 20 minutes.
Maintenance is in the bottom left corner, southwest corner, so I assume it's over there. mix with the rain, it would like cool me down faster. Where's that at? I don't really understand this mission. I don't know where that's located at. I really don't. But it also says it's locked. That's what's like confusing me. Oh wait, do I need to have crewmates with this particular mission? I think I do. I don't think I can do this on solo.
Whatever comes next, here's our route.
Change by the time I get to it. Probably will. gonna go try out that last mission, and if I can't do it for whatever reason, I guess I'll just be done for today. I don't know about that. What the hell? can't take this stuff out of here. These kits, like, you can't take stuff out of them, apparently. So I'm getting confused. I'm like, why is it doing that? I'm not going to a different map. that fucking place I was looking for. That makes sense now. Where's maintenance at? Maintenance. Okay. I think we're doing the same mission actually. I'll switch out of the missions while I'm here.
Signal recall window closes in 20 minutes.
Man, how do I change my mission?
To the marker.
I just realized I picked the wrong mission for the wrong place or something. I don't know. It's like confusing the shit out of me. Remove my markers. miss it? Oh fuck, we missed it. We gotta go to the other one. Fucking A. We got fucked up. I think we all died. Yeah, we're doing good up until the end. Oh well, you live and you learn. Or maybe you die and you learn, I don't know. Kind of the other way around in this, huh? Well, either way, that's all for today. I appreciate anybody that stopped by. If you liked today's video, go ahead and like. If you're new to the channel, please follow. We may or may not be on tomorrow. Check back and see.